Hello guys, welcome back. Further North Podcast preview podcast is on. Exciting times. Big game coming up this week against the old foe, Essendon, the Bombers. We're going to get into all that. We're going to get into more news. We're going to get my live reaction to the team. I have not looked at the team that's dropped for Saturday yet. So you're going to get that. I'm going to tell you who I think should be in the team first. But let's get to some news. And a pretty crazy week we've had with Ben Cunnington announcing his retirement. Didn't really shock me, I guess. I probably would have thought Zeeble was more of a chance to go around again than Ben Cunnington. Sad to see him go. He's been an absolute champion and a warrior of this club. At his peak, barely a better player to watch. People talk about Dustin Martin's fend off all the time, but I guarantee you, and I'll put money on this, if him and Dusty met in the middle of the G and they both stuck their arm out, I know who's coming off second best. Dusty's hitting the deck every single time. Dusty definitely didn't used to tackle sheep back on the farm to practice his tackling, so Cunnington would have him for breakfast, to be fair. But he's just always been the best bloke, hasn't he? Like, you know, there's certain players on the team that I would hate to have a beer with. But him, you meet him down at the pub, you run into him, say hello, and I reckon you'd be chatting all night. He just seems like the best bloke. So it's another sad one to lose from the club. It'll be interesting to see next year who steps up. And I don't know, whose club is it now? You know what I mean? Goldstein hopefully still be there. Everyone's sort of hinting Goldstein wants to go around again. So I think Goldstein's going to get a 1-year deal. I don't have any inside info on that, by the way, so don't quote me. But Clarko today in his press conference said that he wants to go around again. They asked someone else through the week, someone who was on SEN or something like that, about that, and they said the same thing. So I think he'll be there next year. But yeah, him, Shields, I guess. Other than that, I mean, there's not really many vets. Hugh Greenwood, I guess, but maybe didn't reach the heights. Does he have that presence? I know Marnie thinks so, but yeah, sad to see him go. Loved watching him play. Some of the things he dished up on a footy field were unbelievable, untackleable at times. So what a champion. In other news, Cooper Harvey is going to be out for the season. I guess he did lose his spot a couple of weeks ago, got a taste, maybe dropped a little bit, so hopefully he can come back stronger in the preseason next year, like a lot of guys. And maybe the only other bit of news would be Brady Rawlings went on some podcast or video they do on their AFL website and talked a little bit about the draft and the players, you know, that he sees and maybe what we're looking to do. Go and watch that if you haven't. It's a good listen. The only thing I really want to talk about with that is the Ben McKay stuff. He basically said that they've had one-on-one discussions with Ben McKay. Ben McKay fully knows where the club's heading, what our vision is. He knows that we want him as part of that. He's part of the leadership group. And I think it's interesting hearing that from our list manager, that they're fully intending to keep him, which I think is good. I think I would probably rather keep McKay than maybe get the pick. I'm 50-50 on that, I guess. I think realistically, I think we all want to see McKay go because of the pick, and we've been a bit salty that he seems a bit checked out, but I would still prefer to keep him because key defenders are so hard to find. If he goes, I won't be devastated because we should get compensated fairly well, but I think if I had the choice, I would be keeping Ben. I still don't think he'll stay. I still think he will go, but it did give me, or made me feel a little bit more hopeful that everything's been laid out on the table. And look, I should have known that was going to happen anyway, obviously. But when you hear it straight from the horse's mouth, I guess it gives you a bit more confidence. So, yeah, that's basically all the news, guys. There's not really much happening this week. Good to see Clarko back in the press conferences, being happy and having a laugh. But yeah, other than that, not too much happening. So, the ins and outs. What would I do? I don't know. I know there's not going to be this many ins and outs, right? But just some players, and you guys can debate who should be in and should be out. So a couple of guys I'd like to see in, and once again, I wouldn't make this many changes, but Miller Bergman and Hugh Greenwood, I've said every single week, we know why they should be in. Any fans who don't think they should be in, I'd love to hear why, but they're walk-up starters for me. I think, like I've said before, they might be not playing them because they've reached the limit of games to play in the VFL finals. So from a couple of people have told me that. Tom Powell, I guess, can come back in, but I'm not too crash hot on Tom Powell. I think Tom Powell could be good, but I maybe haven't seen quite enough to take out any of the other midfielders. Callum Coleman-Jones is an interesting one. I would probably be playing him just as a forward option. I know his form was bad, but I'd say his good was better than his bad this season. He was so important, giving us another outlet to kick to, especially in those Sydney Bombers, Pies, all those sort of games. So I'd like to give him another chance. I know he's my guy and I like him, so maybe there's a bit of bias here, but I'd like to give him another shot. I would be playing him over Jerry personally, so we all know my thoughts on that. The two last ones, we know Cunnington's going to come in, and George Wardlaw. Now, with Wardlaw, I don't think I'd want to see him in. I think just put him on ice for the season, make sure his hamstrings are right, and let him tear the league apart next year. I know that's maybe not good man management. I know that the players want to play and you don't want to frustrate him too much, but I don't know. In a perfect world, he doesn't play the rest of the season for me and get those hamstrings ready to go to win the Brownlow next season. So guys that maybe I'd put in, once again, Bergman, Greenwood, Powell, Coleman-Jones, Wardlaw and Cunnington. The ones that come out for me, Lazaro just doesn't do enough at the level. Great VFL player. Maybe could develop into a sub at best, but I don't see him making it in the team. Kane Turner, shouldn't really have to talk about this one. I know there's a small community of the North fan base that think his effort is enough to keep him in the team, but unfortunately, it's not the 70s anymore, and effort doesn't get you a spot, or it shouldn't get you a spot in AFL football. You've also got to be a good footballer. Jaden Stevenson maybe needs to be dropped. Now I'm thinking about it. Possibly keep him in the team for the rest of the year because we don't have enough games left. If it was halfway through the year, like Paul Curtis and Curtis Taylor, send him back to the VFL, get his confidence up, bring him back in. But he's one that could potentially be dropped. Robert Hansen Jr. Hasn't looked great at the level, looks a bit lost. Still think he's got potential, and send him back to the VFL. Hopefully has a massive final series and can make his way back into the team maybe next year. But he's got his taste and he knows what he needs to work on now. So maybe send him back to the twos. Darcy Tucker hasn't really cut it for me recently, making more mistakes than he does good. So I don't know. I think I'd rather, obviously, Cunnington and Wardlaw, probably rather Tom Powell than Darcy Tucker. Greenwood, Bergman as well. He sort of plays that half back role, Darcy. So I'd probably rather all those guys in over him. The only other one I've got here is Tristan Jerry. We know my thoughts on Tristan Jerry, so I don't want to harp on about it. I just don't think he offers enough. I really don't. Goldstein's still the best ruckman. Coleman-Jones, I don't think he's any worse of a ruckman than Jerry, and he can go forward. So I would rather play Coleman-Jones than Jerry at the moment, but Jerry will be in this team. He's not going to get dropped. So, look, I'll keep dreaming on that one, but no, I don't think Jerry will be dropped, but I would maybe be sending him back. All right. My live reaction to the team. I'm just going to get this up on the gram here. Oh, nice Ben Cunnington photo. Not spoiling anything. What is going on here? Why is Will Phillips out of the team? Oh, this is so stupid. What do you mean? How are guys like Tucker, Kane Turner? How's Kane Turner? Oh, man. That's so stupid. Anyway, I'm emotional. Wardlaw and Cunnington in. Phillips, Lazaro, Hansen Jr. out. Will Phillips better be the sub. Miller Bergman's an emergency too. Will Phillips better be the sub. What is happening? Am I crazy, guys? Honestly, when they were talking about, why Will Phillips went back to work on the defensive side of his game or something like that, make him work on it in the AFL. Kane Turner, if I was Will Phillips and I saw Kane Turner especially, even a Darcy Tucker, Stevenson hasn't been performing. All these guys, if I saw them over the top of me and the team, I'd be like, why am I here? Maybe I'm emotional right now. I don't know. Will Phillips better be sub. Otherwise, I'm going to storm Arden Street. And you guys better join me. They can't stop us all. So, I hate that. That's so gross. Yuck. Anyway, there's my live reaction, guys. Ugh. What else have we got to look at here? Not really anything. There's not really many changes. We knew Kane was coming in. Well, I guess Wardlaw, I am wary that he might hurt himself. Maybe bring Wardlaw back as the sub and put Phillips in. I know they're not going to do that now, but I'm worried about Wardlaw. If he gets hurt for the end of the season, that could be career defining for me. So, okay, all right. Can't believe Kane Turner's still there. Anyway, I'm glad you guys like these reactions. My brain's all over the place. I got to get back to my notes for the podcast. All right, where are we looking here? That's so stupid. Anyway, under the microscope this week, who am I going to put? Who am I going to put under the microscope? You know what? Jaden Stevenson would be an obvious answer, so I'm not going to put that. I'm going to try and pick one a week. I know I'll put a couple a week. Maybe I'll do one good and one bad. I want to see more from Josh Goda. That's who I'm going to put this week. I would put Tristan Jerry under there, but he'll be there every week if I go with that. So I want to see more from Josh Goda. I think Josh Goda's got a lot of good potential. He's quick. He can run off half back. I would love him to really come on so we can see Sheasel forward more. I think he's been okay since he's come back in the team. He's been solid enough, but I'd like to have a little bit of a breakout game from Josh Goda. So I'm going to put Josh Goda under the microscope this week. The other one I'm going to put under the microscope is Luke Davies-Uniacke. This is my positive. He had a good game last week. I want to see him have an amazing game. I want to see him be the best player on the park. I don't want to see him getting caught for holding the balls, trying to take the game on as well. I love he's taking the game on, but you got to have more awareness than that. So a positive to do better, Wardlaw. Someone who's been a little flat that I'd like to do better, Goda. So Goda and Wardlaw are my positive and not negative is the wrong word, but you guys know what I mean. Someone needs to improve and someone who needs to do even better because they're already great. Goda, Davies-Uniacke, I'll be looking at you guys this week. So that's basically all, guys. Just a quick preview, a quick chat. The live reaction has got to be the best thing. I did have a client come in and say he loves the live reactions to the barbershop this week. That was good to hear too, because I like doing the live reactions and I listened back to a couple of them. I'm like, man, I sound like an idiot, don't I? But hey, you guys love the live reaction. I love that you love it and they're going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming. Let's do a quick round review, a round preview. And then I'll let you guys go. I've got some slow cooked beef gnocchi. I hope I said that right for any Italian listeners. And I'm going to go and gobble that down. So let's do some tips. Remember, guys, my tips are 100% foolproof. Never got one wrong. You can just back these in for your multis, your tips at the office and anything like that. Collingwood-Geelong, massive game. Genuinely a massive game. No Dacos. Pies lost 2 in a row. Cats are 9th, need to get into the 8. I'm going to tip the Cats in this one. I'm going to tip the Cats. I believe in the Cats. I don't like the Cats at all, but I've done it for so long. They need to win this. I'm tipping the Cats. And watch the Collingwood meltdown happen. I guess I'll tip North and Essendon. I guess I didn't really talk much about that game. I think Essendon will win, but I think this will be another honourable loss. I really want to see Wardlaw do well, and I just want us to take it up to them and scare them a little bit. I think it'd be silly to predict a win. My heart says they'll win, but, I'm trying to be as a realistic fan as I can be. I believe in the team, but I don't think we're quite good enough. So I'm going to say we lose to the Bombers by 15 on the weekend. We're going to lose by 15. Maybe I should check the Bombers' ins and outs as well. I'll do that quickly. In, Will Snelling, never heard of him. Out, Alwyn Davey Jr. and Jai Caldwell. Don't know any of those guys. Someone did comment on the Spotify saying that this podcast is stupid because I don't know any knowledge on other teams. and I'm misinformed, so they shouldn't listen. Whoever that was, if you're listening to this, you're a flog, mate. This is a North show. This is about North Melbourne. We talk North. There's no other team. Don't even worry about it. Go and listen to an AFL podcast, flog. Anyway, sorry, guys. Thought I'd get that out. All right, let's keep tipping. Great podcasting by me. I'm hungry, okay? I've just finished work. It's 8 p.m. and I'm hungry. I apologise. Swans and Suns. Yuck. Sydney. It's in Sydney as well. Sydney win that. Adelaide, Brisbane. I would be tipping Adelaide if this was in Adelaide, but I will tip Brisbane because it's in Brisbane. Brisbane haven't impressed me recently at all. Carlton and Melbourne. Massive game. D's would do it. Carlton think they're the best team on the planet right now. They're not. Carlton lose. Melbourne win this one. Eagles, Dockers. Interesting. Why am I wanting to tip the Eagles right now? I'm going to tip the Dockers, but I'm not confident on that because these derbies, whatever people call them, they can go either way. I could see West Coast winning this, but I kind of don't want to finish last, so I'm going to tip the Dockers. Bulldogs, Hawks, down in Tassie. This is another one too. I'm going to tip the Dogs because they've been in good form, but if the Hawks got up, obviously after beating Collingwood last week, anything can happen. Saints, Tigers. I'm going to tip the Tigers in this one. I'm going to tip the Tigers. I have a feeling the Saints aren't making the finals, guys. They just don't fill me with confidence. Do you know what I mean? Tigers for that one. Port, GWS. Port have lost 5 in a row, someone told me. Who's in for Port? Alir. Concussion, hey? They've let him back in. They've got a few good ins. I'm going to tip Port, but my heart says GWS. I'd love GWS to win, but I'm going to tip Port. All right, guys. I think that's probably about it for the week. The obscure player of the week, I did forget to get your comments, but it was Luke Delaney. Do you guys remember Luke Delaney? I actually thought he was all right. I don't think he was that bad, but we could use a Luke Delaney right now down in that defence. I guess if McKay stays and Core keeps being the Brownlow medal favourite of the last 4 rounds, maybe not, but Luke Delaney. And he had a brother, Cam Delaney. Did they both play for North? Message me and let me know. I think they both played for North. Wow, I'm getting thrown back into a spiral. Wow. Cam and Luke, they did both play. Wow. Cam and Luke Delaney, name a more iconic duo. All right, guys, that's it. Remember, Bay 29 at Marvel Stadium for Bombers and North this week. Unfortunately, I work till 3 p.m. on Saturdays, so I won't be down there, but please go down and support the admins. Marnie's always hanging around, and it is literally the best time you'll have at a North game. So tickets are available now on North Melbourne Close to a Flag, Facebook and Instagram pages. Go and get to be a part of Bay 29, guys. It's really, really fun. Admins will be down there. They'll be signing autographs. And I think I saw them post before that you can comment on one of their posts right now and win a signed Todd Goldstein Guernsey. So jump over to that. Their page is brilliant. They come on the podcast a lot and I love them to bits. Bay 29, fun time. I won't be there, but I'll be there next year. All right, knocky time. Beautiful, guys. Love you to bits. See you later. Hopefully beat the Bombers. Bye.